1969. The world watched in awe as Neil Armstrong stepped onto the surface of the moon, a giant leap for mankind, they called it. But over the decades, a question has lingered. Was it all a hoax? Some folks, they look up at the moon and see a big, beautiful mystery. Others, they see a stage for one of the biggest conspiracy theories of all time. Today, we're going to separate fact from fiction and uncover the truth behind the moon landing. We're going to talk about rocket science, we're going to talk about physics, and we're going to talk about why some people just can't handle the truth, even when it's staring them right in the face. You know, the universe is full of mysteries. Black holes, dark matter, the origins of life itself. These are things that keep scientists like me up at night. But then there are the mysteries that people create here on Earth. And one of the most enduring is the idea that the moon landing was faked. Now I get it. The idea that we sent humans 240,000 miles to another world and back is, to put it mildly, mind-blowing. It's a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and the relentless pursuit of exploration. But ever since that momentous day in 1969 when Neil Armstrong took his one small step, whispers of doubt have circulated. Conspiracy theories have swirled, claiming the footage was nothing more than an elaborate Hollywood production. Was it all just a big lie, orchestrated to win the space race against the Soviet Union? Well, let's put on our critical thinking caps, fire up the logic engines, and journey into the heart of this cosmic controversy. Okay, first up, let's tackle one of the most common claims made by the hoax enthusiasts, the whole weird shadows argument. They point to photos from the moon landing, claiming the shadows cast by the astronauts and objects are inconsistent, suggesting studio lighting was used. Now, on the surface, this might seem like a reasonable point. After all, we've all seen how shadows can change length and direction depending on the light source, right? But here's the thing. On the moon there's only one light source, the sun. And that sun is shining on a landscape that is, shall we say, a bit rough around the edges. The lunar surface isn't flat and smooth like a Hollywood backlot. It's covered in craters, hills, and all sorts of uneven terrain. These irregularities can cause distortions in the way shadows appear, making them look longer, shorter, or angled differently than you might expect. And let's not forget about perspective. When you're looking at a photograph, especially one taken from a distance, the way objects are positioned in relation to each other can create optical illusions that mess with our perception of depth and shadow. It's all physics, folks. Alright, let's move on to another popular piece of evidence cited by the conspiracy theorists. The American flag supposedly waving in the wind on the airless moon. They look at the footage and see the flag proudly rippling and they cry, "Foul!" Aha, they say. There's wind on the moon, the jig is up, but hold on a second, folks. Before we start building a case for lunar breezes, let's take a closer look at the situation. First of all, yes, the flag does appear to be waving. But here's the thing, there is no wind on the moon. It's a vacuum out there, so what's going on? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. You see, the flag wasn't just hanging limply from the pole. NASA knew that a droopy flag wouldn't make for a very inspiring photo op, so they designed a special telescoping flagpole with a horizontal bar at the top to make the flag fly proudly. And that rippling effect, that's simply the result of the astronauts twisting the flagpole into the lunar soil. The momentum from that twisting motion, combined with the wrinkles already present in the flag's fabric, created the illusion of a flag waving in the breeze. Now some folks, they look at the pictures from the moon landing and they ask, hey, where are all the stars? They see a pitch-black sky as a backdrop to this historic moment and smell a rat. Aha, they proclaim, if they were really on the moon, we should see thousands of stars twinkling in the background. This must be a soundstage somewhere in Nevada. But hold your horses, conspiracy cowboys. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of stars in those iconic images. And you don't need a degree in astrophysics to understand it. You see, the moon's surface is extremely reflective. During the lunar daytime when the Apollo missions landed, the sunlight reflecting off the surface was incredibly bright. Think of it like trying to see stars in a city at night. The bright city lights overpower the faint light from distant stars. Now imagine those city lights are 1,000 times brighter, and you're starting to get close to the conditions on the lunar surface. To capture a clear image of the astronauts in the lunar landscape, the cameras used by the Apollo missions had to be set to a fast exposure and a narrow aperture. This basically means they were letting in less light and for a shorter period of time, and guess what? Stars are really faint. Let's talk about the Van Allen radiation belts. These are zones of intense radiation held in place by Earth's magnetic field. Some claim astronauts couldn't survive the trip through these belts without severe radiation sickness. They imagine the Apollo spacecraft as a cosmic microwave. But the belts aren't the instant death barriers some think. The Apollo missions were designed with the belts in mind. They minimized time in the most intense regions. They were basically dipping their toes in the cosmic pool. The spacecraft and suits had shielding to protect from radiation. Think of it like applying sunscreen on a sunny day. It significantly reduced their exposure. Scientists found the radiation doses were within acceptable limits. You know, one of the most frustrating things about these moon landing conspiracy theories is that they completely ignore the mountains of evidence that support the mission's authenticity. We're not just talking about grainy photos and video footage here, folks. We're talking about tangible, verifiable proof. For starters, we have the moon rocks. The Apollo astronauts brought back over 840 pounds of lunar rocks and soil to Earth. These rocks have been studied by scientists all over the world, and they are undeniably of extraterrestrial origin. They have unique compositions and characteristics that are not found in any rocks on Earth. Then there's the independent tracking data. The Apollo missions weren't exactly a secret. Countries all over the world, including the Soviet Union, were tracking the spacecraft's every move. If the missions were faked, don't you think someone would have spoken up? And let's not forget about the thousands of people who worked on the Apollo program. Engineers, scientists, technicians, these were some of the brightest minds of their generation, and they dedicated years of their lives to making the moon landing a reality. To think that they would all be in on some elaborate hoax is simply ludicrous. So there you have it, folks. The moon landing wasn't some staged event in a Hollywood studio. It was real, it happened, and it's a testament to the power of human curiosity, ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The evidence is there, plain as day, for anyone willing to look at it objectively. But I get it. Conspiracy theories can be seductive. They offer simple explanations for complex events, and they can make us feel like we're in the know, privy to some secret truth that the rest of the world is too blind to see. But the truth is, the world is a far more fascinating and wondrous place than any conspiracy theory could ever dream up. We landed on the moon, folks. Not once, but 6 times. We walked on its surface, planted a flag, played golf, well, sort of, and came back home with a whole new understanding of our place in the cosmos. And that, my friends, is a story far more incredible than any Hollywood fabrication. The moon landing wasn't just about planting a flag or winning a space race. It was about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and inspiring generations to dream bigger. The legacy of Apollo lives on in countless technological advancements. From satellite communication to GPS, medical imaging to water purification, Apollo's technologies have profoundly impacted our lives. We're now in a new era of space exploration. Private companies are launching rockets and nations are collaborating on ambitious missions. We're setting our sights on Mars and beyond. The spirit of exploration is alive and well. The journey is just beginning. So, there you have it. The moon landing, a testament to human ingenuity and a giant leap for mankind, was not a hoax. It's time to put those conspiracy theories to rest and focus on the real mysteries of the universe. And trust me, there are plenty of those to keep us busy. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Go out there and do your own research. Read books, watch documentaries, talk to scientists. The more you learn about the universe, the more amazing it becomes. And who knows, maybe one day, you'll be the one making history, pushing the boundaries of knowledge and inspiring future generations to reach for the stars. So the next time you encounter someone peddling moon landing conspiracies, don't just roll your eyes. Engage them, challenge them to think critically. Ask them for evidence, not just speculation, because the truth is out there. And the more we understand about the universe we live in, the less room there is for unfounded skepticism. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and never stop looking up. The universe is waiting to be discovered.